Today we talked about remainders and how we can interpret a remainder and what it means in a division problem. So there are 4 things we can do with remainders when we are solving word problems. So the first thing we can do is we can ignore the remainder. If the problem asks us how many full boxes or how many whole boxes, then we might use the ignore the remainder part of our answer. Second thing we can do with remainders is we can use the remainder as the answer. So if the problem asks you for how many cookies were left over, how many cookies would not fit in a box, then that would be a time we would just use the remainder as our answer to the word problem. The third thing we can do when we interpret remainders is that we can add 1 to our whole number quotient. So this is kind of like the problem we solved one day where the vans were going to carry students to the beach, and we knew we had a couple of students left over, so we had to make another group, another van, in our quotient. So that would be a time we would make our quotient go up by 1. And then the final thing we can do to interpret remainders is to include the remainder as a fraction. And the way we include a remainder as a fraction is we make a fraction where the remainder is our numerator, our top number, and then our divisor is our denominator. So if my answer was 6 remainder 2, and that was, let's say, 26 divided by 4, and we got the answer 6 remainder 2, then that would be the same as 6 and 2/4, because we would put our remainder on top of our divisor. That's how we make fractions. So those are the 4 things that we can do with a remainder when we get a division answer and we're trying to solve word problems. So let's look at a few problems. Our first problem says Vic is putting batteries into toys. He needs 45 batteries. How many of these packs does Vic need to open in order to have enough batteries for all his toys? So my question is, how many packs do I need to open? And I know that I need 45 batteries, but I have to buy them in groups of 4. That's what my picture shows me. So I would say, okay, I'm going to take 45 batteries, and I'm going to divide that by 4, because I know I put 4 in each pack. So I would say 4 divided by 4 is 1. Multiply, that gives me 4. Subtract, bring down. 4 goes into 5 one time. 1 times 4 is 4. Subtract 1. So my answer to the division problem would be 11 remainder 1. So I have to think about what do these numbers mean. Well, if 4 was the number in the group, then this 11 tells me this is the group. These are the packs of batteries. Okay? And this 1 means there is still 1 battery that I'm going to need. Because if I only open 11 packs, I would only have 44 batteries, and I need 45. So this is 1 battery that I still need. So this would be a time where I want to use my remainder to make another group, to increase my quotient by 1. So I'd actually need 12 packs of batteries in order to get my 45. I'm going to have a few extra, but I've got to have 12 packs in order to have enough batteries. So this is a time where we go up 1 in the quotient because of the remainder. Okay, so again, 11's not enough because that's only 44 batteries, so I need 1 more, so that tells me I have to go up to 12 packs. So number 2 says Asia has 47 pencils she's going to put in pencil boxes to sell at the fair. She can put 5 pencils in each box. How many boxes can Asia fill? So my question is, how many boxes can she fill? That means they're totally full, no more will fit in them. So if I think I see a big pile of 47 pencils, and I want to grab 5 and put them in a box, 5 and put them in a box, 5 and put them in a box. So I know that's 47 divided by 5. Well, 5 won't go into 4, so I got to take it to the whole 47. And I know that that will be 9. 9 times 5 is 45. Subtract and I get 2. So I have 9 with a remainder of 2. So I know I had 47 pencils. I'm putting 5 in a group. So 9 is how many groups I have, or how many boxes. And then 2 means I have pencils. Okay, so I have to say, okay, my question is how many boxes will be full? Well, 9 boxes are going to be full. Because these 2, yes, they're going to go in another box, but that box is not going to be full. So I'm just going to have 9 full boxes. So this is a time where we will just drop the remainder. Ignore the remainder, because the remainder is just my leftover, and the question asked me about how many boxes will I have totally full, and that would just be 9. Number 3 says, Isabel makes 64 cups of trail mix. So the trail mix we might eat with the peanuts and the raisins and the M&Ms. She's going to put an equal amount of mix in each of 6 bins. How many cups of trail mix will go in each bin? So I want to know how many cups. I know I have 64, and I'm going to divide them into 6 bins. So 64 divided by 6 is 1. 3 down my 4, 0. So I have a remainder of 4. So if I think, okay, well, this means I get 10 cups. Because I had 64 cups, I put them in 6 bins and 6 groups. That means I get 10 groups in a bin, so I get 10 cups. So now I got to figure out what to do with this remainder. Well, I've got 4 left over. Well, I don't just want to throw that trail mix away, but I know it's not going to fill up a whole nother bin. So this is a time we're going to make a fraction. Just like your mom might use a fraction of a cup of milk, a third of a cup of milk when she's making something, or a half a cup of sugar when she's cooking something. This is food, so we want to make sure we distribute all that food out. Even if you don't get a full cup, you can get pieces of cups. So in each bin, we would get 10 full cups, because that's our whole number remainder. And then we would get 4/6 of another cup, because we would take our remainder, 4, put it on the top. In the numerator, put our denominator as 6. You could think of it as a picture like this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know all of this is 64 cups. So if I put 10 in each of these, that's only 60. So I've got 4 more cups I've got to do something with. Well, this isn't enough to put 4. So then I would just put pieces in each. So I wouldn't put the whole cup, just 4/6 of a cup. So this would be a time where our remainder is a fraction. And then finally, number 4. Juan has a piano recital next month. Last week he had practiced for 4 hours in the morning and 9 hours in the afternoon. A full practice session is 2 hours. So we want to know how many full practice sessions Juan completes. So how many full sessions? Well, I know he did 4 in the morning, 9 in the afternoon, and he has to do 2 hours to be considered a full session. So first I want to figure out how many hours did he even practice. So I know 4 plus 9 gives me 13 hours. So he practiced for a total of 13 hours. Well, every 2 hours is considered a session. So I'm going to divide it into groups of 2. So that gives me 6 with a remainder of 1. So this tells me he practiced 6 full sessions, and then he practiced for another hour. So my question is how many full sessions? So I would say he practiced 6 full sessions. So this would be a time to drop your remainder, because that's just 1 hour, and that's not a whole session. That's only a piece of a session, so we can say 6 full sessions. So again, just to review, we learned today what we can do with remainders. We can ignore them in the case of how many full boxes did we have. We can use the remainder as an answer, such as how many pencils would be left over, how many cookies would go in the next jar. We can add one to the quotient. That would be like if we wanted to have some students and we need another van for students. That was like the one we just did where we had to buy another pack of batteries to have enough. And then finally we can include the remainder as a fraction. So this would be like the trail mix one, where we've still got to divide all that food up, but it's not enough to make a full cup. So I hope this helps with interpreting remainders.